Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. So it's been a while since Firefox has released a series of alphas for their next version of the browser, Firefox 3. And IE7 has now been out in the wild for, well, I believe at least a year. We really haven't heard much about either one of the browsers lately. Hasn't been a lot of discussion. And the IE7 blog has been rather silent since they released IE7, which was a little concerning to the web developer community because Microsoft really did make an effort to communicate with internet enthusiasts and browser enthusiasts for the release of IE7, which was kind of their comeback from IE6. We were told that we could expect to see IE8 within the matter of a couple of years. Well, here we are kind of a year into IE7, and we've yet to see the beta of IE8. Microsoft then just posted in their blog, they're claiming, hey, IE7 is the first and still the only browser with native support for extended validation SSL certificates that help prevent online fraud. And I believe SC Thor has a comment on that. He's on the line with us. Then it goes on to say how now IE, or Internet Explorer, they're going to be rolling out updates that are going to help the installation of IE7, at least in larger environments, enterprise environments, and as well as helping new users with like first-run experience, video helps and how-to. I believe it's video. I don't know if they've actually put video in this one or not. Internet Explorer Online Tour has updated how-tos. Also, the first-run experience includes a new overview. Well, maybe they haven't done videos. I guess we'll have to do those videos. And then the menu bar is now visible by default. Woot. Okay. That seems to be a relatively, at least from my perspective, a non-issues, but I suppose for people who are confused by not having a menu, it must be a big deal if they turn it on by default again. So I was just curious about everybody's browser usage, and I know that Wireless Packet, you've been testing Firefox 3, at least on the Mac. What do you think?
Yes. I like it a lot. I just had a couple issues with plugins. It hasn't crashed at all. Hasn't done like CPUs haven't run up to 100%. It's not, I believe that they're taking care of the memory leak issue, and it just seems to work better. It's running more efficiently, I guess if you want to put it that way.
Does it seem faster?
It seems faster. It seems a lot faster.
Even as an alpha?
Yes. Yes.
Would you recommend that people back up their current install and give it a shot? Firefox users, of course.
I would recommend. I would definitely recommend if they want to try the new alpha. Yes, definitely.
Now, there's
the best way to get more development is to get more feedback. So
yeah,
the more people that use it, the better.
What about the new feature? Isn't there like some kind of social component to Firefox 3 that kind of caused a bit of stir?
I'm not aware of anything like that at all.
Maybe they were just talking about it then.
Yeah.
Allegedly, there was
most things like that are plugins.
Yeah.
So that they're optional.
Well, there was
Wireless Packets. Someone's asking if the web development plugin still works in 3.0.
I'm not sure. I'm having issues with my Tor plugin and a few other ones. So
your Tor plugin.
We'll see.
I think most of the plugins, it's just that in the actual like XML file, it says that it only works with up to a certain version number.
Yeah.
And that can be
they have to develop a
edited.
new plugin.
Well, you can hack them, but it's a pain.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you hack a plugin for Firefox?
Well, it's just it's a bunch of text files in a zip. So you just extract it and change. The XML file basically says this plugin will work with Firefox versions like 1.5 through 2.0. So you just got to change that to so it includes 3.0.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's not guaranteed to work, but
Sure.
That's usually the only thing stopping it from working.
Wow.
Is this limit imposed by the author of the plugin, and sometimes the plugin just gets abandoned.
Wow.
Like there was a really good plugin to get your Google PageRank, and it just stopped being developed. But it wouldn't even work with Firefox 2, and I wanted it, so I had to hack it.
Interesting. Well, you didn't really. I mean,
Granted, Debbie, do you have a link for that?
you
Sorry,
edited.
Chris.
You edited. It's okay. You edited a file. That's interesting. No, that's a nice little tip. Now, have you guys tried Opera as of late? I downloaded. I don't mind Opera.
I haven't, no.
On Windows, I don't mind it. On the Mac, it really stands out like a sore thumb. I mean, I have issues with the UI on Windows. I mean, it's okay. I can deal with it on Windows, but I'm much less forgiving with a program that doesn't really feel like a Mac program when I'm running on OS X. It's fast. The Opera browser, no doubt about it, is fast. I swear, it is faster than Firefox. It's fast. But the shell, the UI, I think needs a massive overhaul. Massive. You know, someone has IE5. Are you nuts? That's like that's tantamount to running Lynx.
And on top of that, like, what websites are still going to work in that?
Oh my God! Just kidding. Okay, just making sure. Holy cow! I mean,
did you guys see the stats that Granite posted? That's actually interesting.
What's that?
According to marketshare.hitslink.com, IE6 has 42% of the market share. IE7 has 34. Firefox has only 13. And then Safari, iPhone, and Opera. And that actually surprises me.
I'm not surprised. I'm still not surprised.
I think those numbers are a little off.
I do too. I would think a lot.
I'm pretty sure Firefox adoption is much more around the 26% mark.
Yeah.
20% I could give you.
Well, the Internet Explorer is still predominant. I know that.
This is the problem.
But people really got to talk about target audience too.
Exactly. Not my parents.
Everyone I talk to uses Firefox, but the average person isn't going to know better.
My mom was having issues the other day with trying to get something set up in her blog on Locker Gnome, and I said, "Here, can you open Firefox?" And she said, "What's Firefox?" I'm like, "Oh God."
They still haven't made the switch.
No, no, they're not gonna. I mean, I talked about that the other day. Like, what's it gonna take to get my parents to switch? But it's less about that. It's more about what software comes on the person's computer. People tend to buy the computer and whatever's there, and most people are not upgrading to Vista, and so they're not going to Windows Update. They're not updating to IE7. You know, I would say that if anybody's running IE6, stop it, knock it off, just upgrade to IE7 already. Seriously, I mean, it is a better browser fundamentally than IE6 for a lot of reasons. I'm not saying you should use IE7 over Firefox. That boils down to a personal choice. I'm still using right now. My desktop app is Maxton on Windows, but I'm probably going to be abandoning it because if I switch to OS X, well, Maxton is only a Windows program. I would likely use a kind of flip back and forth between Safari and Firefox in OS X. Firefox in OS X with the I think it's Tab Mix Plus plugin.
Yep.
And I also use I think it's the Compete plugin as well that shows me the Alexa rank and Google Page rank for any given page. And I really don't the Google toolbar. I really like. Although I don't really view the Google toolbar, the only button I love on the Google toolbar is the up a directory button. To me, it's essential in any browser to go up a directory. It's so helpful. Yeah. I love that feature. I
use Firebug and Web Developer for developing web pages. But other than that, I have the Google toolbar because I use Google Bookmarks to sync my bookmarks between my 3 computers.
Oh, okay.
That's about it.
See, I never use my bookmarks. I've got them, but I never use them.
Well, I used to have them separate on the 2 computers, and it got annoying.
Oh, sure. Datalore?
I was at a Microsoft Silverlight conference a couple of weeks ago, and the presentation fell down, so they actually used Firefox and Firebug to debug it.
Oh!
This is a Microsoft employee.
Oh,
this is somebody from the US.
Oh, snap.
And they actually did it. This was actually being presented in the cinema, and they used Firebug. I couldn't believe it, and everyone started laughing, clapping. It was brilliant.
Did you tape it? Did you record it?
No, I didn't have my video camera at the time. I was raging because my video camera was busted. But I will the next time.
Oh,
That's
classic!
Great.
Oh, classic!
CM wants me to bring up to you guys the fact that, you know, we're talking about Firefox, we're talking about Safari a little, and Internet Explorer. What about other browsers?
Well, I said Opera.
People actually use Netscape and other browsers.
Even Safari
Well,
for
Netscape
Windows
is
now.
based on the Mozilla code, so it's Firefox
Right.
with a bunch of
Crap.
fancy wrappers.
No, not fancy wrappers. It's crap. Netscape has
I
been.
agree. I don't personally like Netscape.
And I tell you, Netscape has been junk from day one. And I'm sorry to say this. I have a healthy respect for the role it played, but as soon as IE2 Beta 1 was released, I was done with Netscape. I was done. IE loaded so much fast on Windows. It loaded so much faster than any other browser. And honestly, I mean, at that point, Mosaic, I believe, was still being developed, and then Netscape. And Netscape just became junkier and junkier and junkier. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, it's hard to believe that it actually became the base of Firefox.
Well, it didn't really become the base. It kind of...
right. But
well, a reinvention, and then became, the Firefox then... Right. Anyway, Netscape is now built on top of Mozilla, and Firefox is but I believe the Mozilla trunk that Netscape is based on is off of the SeaMonkey trunk, and Firefox is completely separate.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I like SeaMonkey. SeaMonkey's really
well.
good browser.
SeaMonkey is essentially what Mozilla used to be, and that is a suite of applications, not just the browser. But also
it's all integrated.
It's all integrated. The mail, the news, the browser, everything, including I think an IRC client as well, Chatzilla. Whereas Firefox is more extensible by a plugin type of architecture. So I love my SeaMonkey with Chatzilla. See, Fort loves it. So anyway, what does everybody else think out there in the greater community? What browser are you using now? Do you think those stats are off? Are you still on IE6? Have you upgraded to IE7? Are you looking forward to IE8? Or do you just not care about Internet Explorer anymore? Are you on Firefox 3? If so, what do you think? I mean, based on Wireless Packet's recommendation, I'm going to give the new beta a shot, at least on my OS X machine, since that's what he's running on, not having any issues with it. Says he takes care of some of the memory leak issues. I think it's certainly worth a chance, and possibly, maybe it'll change my experience, maybe it won't. Who cares? Or do you care? Do you really care about what browser you use? And if so, do you think you need to get a life? I don't know. Leave a comment, questions about browsers. We may be able to answer them if you're having a problem with the browser. Maybe it is time to switch. You can email me, chris@pirillo.com. Of course, you can leave a follow-up comment or whatnot in the thread, and we'd be able to pick up on that as well. Pixie, what browser do you use? She doesn't use a browser because she's a dog. Anyway.
Pixie for president.
No, not for president. Not going to happen. Anyway, the chat room open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're welcome to come in there and ask, because I know every day someone asks, Chris, what browser do you use? Firefox?
Iceweasel.
Explorer? What'd you say?
Iceweasel. When there was a licensing dispute between the Debian project and the Mozilla Foundation about them actually... Basically, you can't call it Firefox if you compile it yourself. So they called theirs Iceweasel because ice is the opposite of fire and weasel is the opposite of fox. So they called it Iceweasel.
It's actually a better name, I think, than Firefox. Iceweasel.
Certainly attention
launch Iceweasel.
Hang on, let me fire up my Iceweasel. It just doesn't sound... I don't know. Maybe it isn't so good. All right, so I'm being reminded...
Now, let me take this home.
Aries reminding me that while we're talking about browsers,
Google.
I should mention the sponsor, GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.com.
Yep.
You can save 10% on your next domain name registration by using the coupon code Chris1 at GoDaddy.com, and you can register Firefox versus IE.com, unless that's already taken. Is it already taken? You can actually go into the chat room, type in $GoDaddy, and then a domain name that you're searching for, and it will tell you whether or not that domain name is registered. It's a cool little tool that... you built that, didn't you, SC Thor?
Yes, I did.
That is so cool. I love those kind of tools and toys. I'm also interested in your opinions, like I said. Do whatever you got to do. Just try to contact us in one way or the other, being a community member at large or just watching the video. Could you hear Wicket in the background there?
Mm-hmm.
He was actually typing in on his keyboard because I gave him his own computer. I'm kidding. He's a dog. All right, Kat, take us out.
Come and visit us anytime, day or night, at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.